Unmute. There we go.
So hold on. There we go. All right, boom.
Yes.
So my name is Vincent Wheeler. I am actually biologically Monique Ray's brother, ironically. And I am also go by the name of V the Only Letter. I am the creator and the host of the Oh That Sexy podcast and the I Got Things to Say podcast. I will post my my link for my podcast and everything below. Thank you so much, Monique, for having me on this platform. Thank you so much for just allowing us the opportunity to sit down and discuss these topics amongst each other and providing something out there to the world that they may not have heard before. So I really want to give you great thanks, and I commend you for this.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And yes, Vincent is my biological brother. Absolutely. And I love him. Yes. And I love what he is doing and what he's actually producing, because God has him working on some stuff as well. So we are all soaring together. So I'm loving it. Now I'm going to introduce my cousin, Darnell Ray.
Yes, I am Darnell Ray, aka Linus Linus, and I am, yes, the biological cousin.
Yes.
I currently do my own music. I am the leader of Linus Records. I do R&B music. I do a little inspirational also. I am a musician, and I work for MTA, or Maryland Transit Authority, here in Maryland as a supervisor. I am coming out with a new love series. It'll be on YouTube soon. It'll start the first debut will be on Valentine's Day. It's called The Love Seat. So look out for that. My page is Linus Son of God on YouTube. So look me up there. And I'm working on a animated cartoon at this time also. So that's me in a nutshell. Nice to you all, and thank you, cousin, for inviting me.
Thank you for coming, cousin, and accepting. Yes. Tonee Johnson.
Man. Grace and peace, everyone. How is everyone doing on this fine evening? My name is Anthony Johnson, also known as Tonee. What's up? What's up? I am a pastor of one of the pastors of the All of Joy Ministries Incorporated, under the leadership of Apostle Patricia Wiley. I'm in charge over the men's ministry at my church, Men of Valor. Big up, big up. And I am the adopted brother of Monique Ray. I also work for the MTA of New York City.
Okay.
The trained engineer. And I'm blessed just to be here and honored to be a part of this, because this is what I do. I love brotherhood, when brothers come together to unify, and we have lacked that. So I'm grateful for that she's having this platform to talk about it. And I will be starting my vlog and my page soon, doing sit down table, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on through, my brothers.
I'm trying, long time.
Producing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jimmie?
Hi, I'm Jimmie Tomlin. I am a former member of the Edwin Hawkins Music and Arts Seminar, New York City chapter. I work at Bailey House Housing Work for over 33 years as of January 12th of this year.
Wow, congratulations.
70.
Right.
I am an elder of Ecclesia Ministry under the leadership of Overseer Jordan.
Yes.
And Monique is my adopted sister from the church ministry. I've known her for many years. My other sister, who's no longer with us, Tawana. So
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just thank you for joining in on tonight with us as we discuss brotherhood. And I give honor to my pastor, Overseer Dr. Meredith Jordan, my covering. So let's dive into brotherhood. Oh my God. This is a so much needed topic. And, I am loving the fact that when you guys were announcing yourselves, you was also talking about the things that you are working on, the things that you are producing. And it's just showing how brothers are very productive. And what I like about it is, because of the fact that all of you are African American brothers, and it really, for whatever reason, and because of history and because of different people perspective and ideas, you guys are setting a trend. You are setting a trend and letting the world know that not every African American brother is standing on the corner.
Exactly.
Not every African American brother is out there doing negative things, but we do have some African American brothers who are actually producing, who are positive, and who's trying to prosper and soar. So I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys were sent some questions. So we are going to just dive into the questions. And one of the questions we're going to dive into first is, how can brotherhood be achieved amongst men? Who want to take a stab at that?
Anybody want to go first, gentlemen?
Listen, you sounded like you wanted to go because you said,
So the question is, how can brotherhood be achieved amongst men?
Absolutely.
How can I start with this? So I think, so the thing about brotherhood is that I think very back in the day, brotherhood actually meant something, right? I think when you look at a friendship was a period of where there's a time you guys endured something together, or you went through something together, or you live life closely together. And a lot of your experiences, you relate back and forth to each other. And that entails what a friendship actually is, right? And I think the thing that brotherhood makes it another level up is where there's some type of a pain or adversity, and these collective group of people are supporting you. And these group of people are usually men, and they give you this type of support that you need in order for you to propel forward. So I think when we talk about brotherhood now, I think the word brotherhood has been used around, right? So I personally feel like that, because if you go on any social media website and you got a whole bunch of guys talking and they're all having a good time, yo, this is my brother, then a year later, they're no longer friends. And I know the era that I grew up in, if I called somebody my brother, no matter what we went through, that person was still there. The only way you was able to leave this friendship is through death. And that's how I lived. No, but we laugh, but in the reality, it really was like, that's my boy. Regardless of whatever we go through, we may not talk for a week, hell, we may not even talk for a month, but that's my guy, that's my brother. Can brotherhood be achieved amongst men? If we learn to establish and really look at what loyalty, endurance, if you have standards in your friendship, you know what I mean? Like, I think standards is something that a lot of people don't talk about with friendship. We're talking about brotherhood, but I think the prerequisite to what brotherhood actually is having a top quality friend.
Yes.
We have, I can count thousands of acquaintances, but I have very few friends. And from the friends that I do have, there are very few people who I actually feel like, yo, this is my brother. So can brotherhood be achieved amongst men? Yes. But I think that we need to make brotherhood special again. And we need to, if I call you my brother and I hold you accountable, not only for my actions and for your actions, I think that is what entails what true sense of brotherhood. Can it be achieved? Yes. But the long answer is, what do we look at brotherhood? How do we look at brotherhood? How do we analyze it? And then how do we take that step forward as far as having a relationship between one another? So yes, it can be achieved, but there's more to it than what it is.
That's right. I believe the same thing. I believe it can be achieved, but I believe that it's going to take a lot of vulnerability, like you said, honesty and trust, respect. It comes a long way, and that's really a bond between a friendship, a real strict friendship, and you gotta hold your friend accountable, and him hold you accountable. So that's the biggest thing in brotherhood, and we don't have the support that I believe they had back in the day. We don't have that kind of support. We don't support each other like we should.
No, we don't.
I think that's the biggest thing. If in achieving brotherhood, we have to show each other support. We gotta push one another to be better, we got to help each other. And that's the only way we can do that is to come together. And that's one of the things that we're lacking as men right now. We won't come together because we feel these extra we're always trying to be above one another, instead of if one of us is above one, let's help that one to get there. And we a lot of times we lack that. So I think it can be achieved if we open up, if we're open to it.
I definitely agree with the other two brothers that just went forth. Because I know brotherhood has always been around from even in a biblical times. Because back, this is like Psalms 133:3 said, "How good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together." So that means there was a brotherhood back then, and we're talking about over 2,000 years ago. So that's even a biblical principle about being brotherhood. And I do believe that we can achieve it again. But one of the things that I know that we would definitely have to do is to have consistency, thorough consistency amongst us. It's not like, okay, I'm only being your brother just for a few days, and then after that, back to whatever or whatever. Like Vincent has said, like where I grew up from Brooklyn, Fort Greene, ride or die. From
that's what it was.
Whatever. And like you said, the only way you ever stop being my brother is when the Lord calls you, one of us, home, or through mishaps. But always, we always was there for each other, and that's definitely through one of them. Through consistency, through fellowship, making time for fellowship, making time to break bread. I know everybody always busy, with a lot going on, doing 5, 6, 7 jobs, but we definitely have to take time, even if it's like once a month, try to get together to fellowship with each other, just to talk and to help build, because we go through life with so much that sometimes we don't have a exit to let it out in. And then our female counterparts don't know what we deal with. So
at all.
Another brother will really know what we deal with, especially being men of color.
That's right.
We deal with a different type of set of problems other than our clearer counterparts do. So I believe that, and helping each other, as Linus has said, like helping each other. If I'm on top, my job is to help pull you up, not step on you to achieve greater goals for myself. And it's not all about me. And like Vincent had said earlier, being there for each other. And like he said something really powerful. I don't know if he really understood. It says, going through stuff, and the Bible talks about brotherhood is birthed out of adversities, meaning that when you go through some stuff and you got a brother there, this brother is helping you get through what you're getting through. And sometimes you may struggle with your brother, but that makes your bond greater.
Actually tighter.
You can get into something, but that's my dude. I got you. Get over it, move on. And that's what I believe. So I definitely believe it can be achieved, and that through those methods, consistency, keep going at it, making time. Time is very important. If you want any kind of relationship, time is very important. You got to put the time in. Got to put in the time in to help each other.
Right.
Yes. I feel also that, as everyone has said, that, we got to have that bond. We have to have that friendship, that even if, like everyone has said, even if you're climbing a ladder and I'm right behind you, I should lift you up instead of tearing you down. I should be there for you as a brother, as a friend, and that's something that we lack in these day and times, is that friendship, that brotherhood, because brotherhood actually is the quality state of being brothers. And that's the one thing that we're not helping each other out or being there for each other, is having that real bond and that love for one another as brothers.
Absolutely.
To piggyback off of that, sorry, Monique, I don't mean to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
I wanted to piggyback off of that. I think Tonee said something very important when it comes to, I think as Black men and masculinity, we have it's a very interesting path that we have towards masculinity than other counterparts. That's Caucasian men, Asian men, and I don't want to put other races down because that's not what this is about. But I think when it comes to men who are of a particular color, even those of our Hispanic counterparts, the identity of what masculinity can be very warped very fast, right? So I think if you see a guy taking something as silly as a man taking a selfie, right? Somebody could see that and they could say, that's not a masculine trait.
That's right. Yeah.
And usually most of the people that will say that have no idea what true masculinity is. and I think when it comes to brotherhood, there's two things that lack in it. There's a lack of, how can I put it? There is a lack of selflessness, and then there is a lack of a concept of what true masculinity is. I can be selfless enough to know if my friend is winning, that means I'm winning because I'm happy for them. Right. And I don't need you to, I don't need anything. I don't need the reciprocal back. I don't need the energy back. I'm just happy for you because I'm happy for you. You know, we don't hear that often. And I think when we don't define what a true healthy sense of what masculinity is, masculinity isn't drinking whiskey and then being around with as many women as possible. Masculinity is literally walking in your path as a man of virtue, as a man of concrete principles, whether your principles are bad or good, they're concrete. The thing that, it's funny when they talk about people who are enemies and that they would trust their enemy than a friend, because at least they know their enemy is an enemy. With their friend, they have no idea where that line is drawn at. Right. So I think when we mix those two, when you have a concrete set of beliefs in your manhood, and you understand what manhood is about, and you have so much altruistic views about life, it's not about you. It's about the next guy up, and it's about your friend, and it's not about you. Now we're talking about brotherhood being fully achieved, because it's selflessness and it's graciousness for just that person being there, and you're just happy for them, and you don't want anything back. And that's honestly, very few people get to experience that. And if you do, it is one of the most blissful feelings of all time. I promise you that. Just being genuinely happy for someone just because they're your friend.
That's right.
And you know what I mean? And it's a joy. It's like, man, if you see your friend in a magazine or something like that, you're like, I know that guy. Like, that's right. Man, right. I'm happy for you. Like, I know him. Like, I know you. Like, bro, I know you. I know how bad your farts smell. I know you. I know you. Right. Right. You know what I mean? I know you.
Right. You know how much energy it takes to be nasty to your own friend?
Yes. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, but I think, I'm sorry, Monique, I didn't mean to cut you up. But I just wanted to tag that on, and we can go forward.
You guys are doing awesome. You guys are doing awesome. And the audience is saying, then they arming brothers, to one of the statements when you guys was talking about when you don't support each other and you're not happy for each other. They made the statement, then they arming brothers. And then they also saying loyalty explains real brotherhood, Tonee. So they said, yes, loyalty explains real brotherhood. Then they said, yep, explain this, Tonee. We have been brothers 4.5 years. Explain why.
Because you know how his farts smell.
then they're saying exactly, brothers to the end, and no matter what. Then they saying they was agreeing with what you guys were saying about how brothers should be happy for each other when they're winning, not knocking each other. Then they're saying even when both disagree, and then they said, yes, say that, Vincent. So yes, that they are actually agreeing with what you guys are saying about brotherhood, and how you can achieve it amongst men, and you can achieve it amongst men when you're supportive, you know, when you come together, when you're open about what you're feeling, what you're going through, you know, with your emotions, because, you know, men have emotions just like women, but just on a different level and from a different perspective. But you guys do go through your emotions. So when you can come together and have that brother as an outlet, that you can say, hey, bro, I'm not good right now. And you can know that, you know, what you tell your brother, it's there, it's sacred, it's a safe place.
Right.
And your brother's gonna pick you up and be like, you know what, man, I know what you may be feeling right now, but you know what, you got this. You
Right.
know,
to be vulnerable around another male, because you have to deal with what they might think of what you put out, you know, and that's a big thing with with our society today, of course, males in general, and you have to be in a vulnerable state. And
definitely.
like we're talking about, Vincent, being masculine, being vulnerable, that's not, you know,
that's not the most you don't want to associate vulnerability with masculinity. Right. And true power, you know, I think a lot of people think vulnerability is a weakness. Not to cut you, I'm so sorry, Lonnie, if I cut you off.
No, you good.
People, oh, okay, because people think vulnerability is weakness, and it's not. It's one of the biggest strengths when you know how to be vulnerable, because it's a seesaw effect, because you don't want someone who seems to be ill-equipped with handling life, because no one wants to deal with that, right? And I'm going to be very honest with you. If you seem like the type of person that something doesn't go your way, you break down, you just like whining all over the place, nobody wants that. But at the same time, just the strength to say, I'm not okay, and I really want somebody to talk to, it's so powerful, because it's like, it takes that wall down, you know what I mean? And it's you know, I can honestly feel like, all right, okay, we can talk now. Now we can have authentic conversation. Now there's that adversity, there's that bond, and it's being forged. Right. And the one thing that my trainer said, shout out to Lord, ironically his name is Lord Allah. He always said that still iron sharpens iron.
That's the word of God. Iron. That is biblical. That is the word of God. Iron sharpens iron.
And it's only when you get yourself around other like-minded men. And we can see this in a negative effect if you're around a bunch of people that are taking you and they're doing whatever they got to do, and it's definitely negative. You're gonna go that route. If you're doing something positive, you're gonna go that route. Mm-hmm. You are the sum of what your friends are. If your friends are doing well, if everybody's making $100,000 a year, and it's 6 of you, and you're the 6th person, guess how much money you're gonna make over time? You're gonna get to that $100,000 because you guys all think like this, and you move like that, and you progress like that. So, you know, that adversity, that kinship, that bond, that vulnerability, being open and saying, I am not okay.
Right.
And not to cut you off, Vincent, sometimes you may not have anybody in your monetary financial bracket where you making $60,000. They may just be making like $60,000 or $50,000.
Correct.
But you don't treat them any less than.
Right.
Exactly. And then they also seek to try to, you know, elevate themselves as well. You know, not to just stay at this low budget thing and all my friends are making 3 times what I'm making.
Right.
And then be secure enough in yourself to say, well, you know what? They went to college, they acquired this, and that's how they were able to make what they're making. And okay, I didn't go that route, but I'm still handling my business financially at home, and I'm secure in that, and I'm not intimidated by their $100,000.
What they have. Correct.
But then it's also, you know, you don't treat that person any less, and I'm not jealous of you making the 100,000. I'm making 50. I'm not jealous of you making the 100,000.
Of course not.
What Brotherhood is about.
Of course not. But at some point, I think you should be like, "Hey, brother, what's your goals?
What's the goal?" Right.
Yes.
Pull me up.
Yes.
Pull me up.
Yes. Like at some point in time, if you're doing all this stuff, say I'm I got some music out, and I'm doing a web series, and I know my brother, he does some music too. And for me to not even ask him,
Right.
hey, what you trying to do with your music? You
Right.
know, that's just selfish.
Right. That is. Supposed
to be your brother. This is the same guy that hang with you all the time, and you say nothing. You don't even try to help something he's going through, or even talk to him about what he might want to go through or do. Where his mind is at.
That's right.
And that goes back to what Vincent was saying about iron sharpens iron. In the Bible, in Proverbs 27:17, it says, iron sharpen irons, so a man sharpen the countenance of his friend.
That's right.
Right.
So that is scripture, that is biblical, and that is what we're supposed to do. That's what men are supposed to do, and women, you know, iron sharpen irons. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the viewers are saying yes, they say yes, they gave a long yes. They said, if you are real brothers, you should be able to share everything and feel safe if it's your brother. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I can share a story real quick that I remember when I first got back in the church, and you know, one of my brothers, not blood, but you might as well say he is. We've been friends forever and ever and ever. On a basketball court, and I came back around the hood way, you know, and I just walked up to him and, you know, give the dap, love, show love, whatever, and walked away. And it was like, and just the way he looked at me, he was like, something looks different about you, whatever. I didn't tell him that, you know, like, hey, I gave my life to Christ or nothing like that. And then I said, I saw the look in his face, in his eyes, and I said, he got some concerns. Let me go back. So I walked back over to him, and I was like, I saw the look. I was like, yo, bro, Kyle. He was like, what's up? I was like, well, you know what? Because none of them was church. Straight hood. And now I'm the church boy now. So I go to him, I said, yeah, bro, this is what happened. Blah, blah, blah. I gave my life to Christ. And I kind of like bracing myself for like the worst, like the what? You ain't drinking, you ain't smoking, you ain't hold up, what's that about? And he playing in the middle, he just said, you happy? I said, bro, so happy. He said,
I'm happy for you.
Right.
You know, he said, I'm happy for you. He said, but I thought you got some because you glowing.
What?
He said, you glowing.
What?
He said, you glowing like you got some.
Yeah, I got the Lord on my side.
Right. And that was it. And he was like, long as you happy, I'm happy, bro. Yeah. And went back to playing ball. I went to go see my family, and that was it.
Right, but it's not always like that.
No, it's not
always like that. It's not always like that. Some people I see now, they be like, well, before when I was just starting to do music and stuff like that, they would be like, "Oh, music, man, that's weird, man. That's a weird thing you're doing, you know." But then after a while, they say, dang, man, you still doing that music. Sound good too, man. You know, they start changing. They start changing. And as brothers, at the top, if somebody's saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I like to do, it's what I enjoy, your brother's supposed to be like, you know what? I feel you, man. I support you. I support you. You're doing something positive. It's funny how if you're doing something negative, a brother jump on you quickly. They'll be like, yeah, man, I'm with the negative all day. What we selling? I'm with it. But as soon as you try to do something positive, they're like, man, I don't know about that. That ain't really going to work.
But that ties into one of the questions that's on the list. What are the difficulties men face as brothers? And I think when it ties into that vulnerability and that point where you're just saying, yo, this is what I'm about, and I just need your support. And I think when you lay it to them like that, it puts that friendship on the line. And I'm not saying that you should do that with all your friends, But what I'm saying, but I think at certain points in a relationship, we never, you know what's so funny? When we're growing up in school, they teach you the Pythagorean theorem. They teach you so many different things, but they never teach you how to deal with like actual life.
Yeah.
And you have to learn that. They don't teach you how to leverage relationships, whether you can leverage a relationship, right? Leveraging a relationship, that seems like a bad way. It seems like manipulation. It's not. It's at the end of the day, if you support me and you love me, you care about me, and I'm asking you for your support, you're going to support it. Your support may be different from the support that I may have wanted, but I have your support regardless. Talking about music, when you're doing a performance and you're giving out tickets and you're trying to get everybody at your show, you give out these tickets, people don't show up, but they might buy the CD. It may not be the support at the time that you wanted, but it's always love there. And it's even better when I don't support your decision, but I trust the fact that you sat down and you thought about doing something. And we talked about why I don't support it. And we talked about why I think you should go the opposite way, but you chose to go this way. Whether you fall on your face or whether you stand up it means nothing to me. It's irrelevant. I am there to support you. I'm going to be there to pick you up when all the pieces fall down. I'm going to be there to put you over the top when you have achieved whatever goal it is that you want to achieve. That's that the difficulties are that vulnerability wall. You got to break that wall. You got to let people know I'm a human being. Like, I have these emotions. Like, because I'm a man, because I work out, because I look masculine, that doesn't mean that I'm not affected by these things.
Or I'm strong enough to deal with.
I'm strong enough to let you know I'm not strong enough right now.
Right.
And I'm saying this not because I need your help. I'm saying this because if I don't, I'm going to lose my mind.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's, I don't know if that was your next question, Monique, but I just found that so like ironic that it was coming back to like difficulties and things like that. And that's one of them.
That's right. It definitely lead to mental issues and problems.
Definitely.
Depression and it could definitely lead to some difficult. I had a friend was really my best friend, and I called him my brother, and we would talk all the time. And at one point, we was actually living together, and he would when I was married, if I told him, hey, I'm at work, but my wife, she broke down, she's on the highway, she's at this exit, man, he would be there. He would go, he would be there, he would fix a tire, do whatever he had to do. That was my brother. And when he called me, I was there. Wherever it was, I said, hey man, I'm on my way, I'm coming. And I believe that we had the conversations and we had the communication. And unfortunately, he's not here today. He took his own life, but I do still believe that I was there for him. I was there for him. I think he was going through some other things that I could not control or be or help with. But I think that's the kind of brother. I haven't had a brother like that since, but that's the kind of brother you need in your life. Somebody that's going to listen to the worst of you and the best of you. Somebody's going to help you go through those things that's tough for you at the times when you need it. And it's tough when you don't have that honest conversation with someone that you feel like could be your brother.
That person,
have bond with someone, because who do you talk to then? If you don't talk to your father who created you, or the Lord who created you, then who you talk to? Who do you talk to?
And sometimes you can't talk to your girlfriend. You can't talk to your wife. But you laugh. But you know what though? There's some things that
they just don't understand.
To her,
right?
But they won't.
That's
they don't understand what it's like. They don't understand. And I'm not saying being a man is hard. It's the hardest thing in the world. There are much things that are harder. but they will never get the concept of what manhood is. And you can't vent to her about that. You know, she has her own thing that she's got to worry about. It's gonna take that iron. It's gonna take that iron to sharpen that iron. And you know, like Monique had said, you know, women sharpen each other's iron. If you got a good group of sisters and they're all for it and they really all support you, you see them sharpening. You see that that friendship bond. You see that where it's you can't break it. You know, they even had it on Facebook where they were like, what's the worst thing to suffer? The ending of a friendship or the ending of the relationship? And I think it's unanimously like, you know, when you and a friend don't talk anymore, it is literally like experiencing somebody passing away in your life.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and I think the funny thing about relationships is that there's so many, like when you have a relationship with a romantic one, I should say, there's so many implications that could help you like break that away. You know, if you're married, you can get a divorce. If you're girlfriend or boyfriend, all you got to say is, I don't want to be in a relationship no more, this, that, and the third. When you're friends with someone, it is very hard for you to tell that person, I don't want to be your friend.
Be your friend no more, right?
It is so hard. It is so hard.
Yes.
And it's so hard to say, yo, I just can't be your friend. Because that relationship is like, we have been through all of this. And for you to leave it now is like, I can't do that. We got to fight for this. You know, a relationship is like, you know, I just hit the gym, get some money up, I'll get another girl. But with a friendship, it's like,
really?
get the money up, let's go back dating again. You know, we're going to make a Tinder profile. We're going to get something back again. But with a friend, something's up. Something's got to land. You know what I mean? But with a friendship, friendships don't work like that. You know, you can't put yourself out there and something lands. Friendship is...
I think that's why the relationship that you're in, romantic, has to be your friend too. But a brother is a little different.
Yes. I totally agree with that line. I totally agree. Totally agree with that.
And Jimmie, your thoughts?
I'm gonna take that thing about some of the things that Brother Vincent brought up about what makes life, I mean, difficult for men to be brothers is life. Things that come along. He was talking about, it's just things in life. You know, we can, like I said, all grow up together, went to the same schools and everything, and then wife comes along, children come along. You don't have that time like you used to have with your homies to be able to chill with them and stuff like that. So one of the things that make it difficult is life, just life situations. Life itself makes it a difficult thing because you get so boggled down with the things of life that sometimes slack. And that's why when I said earlier about consistency and making the time to do things, at least, okay, I know I ain't seen my brother in like 2 months. Oh my God, you know what? I'm gonna make a effort to try to set a date that I'm gonna say, hey, bro, June 2022, we gonna hook up. We gonna hook up.
That's right.
You know,
You make that date night with your girl, you can make that date night with your brother.
Right, you got basically. I didn't want to say date night because you know.
Right. Of course,
it is. You have to make a date night. You got to make a date night with your brother.
Right.
You got to make a date night with your bros.
Because he's terrible.
You got to make a date night with your bros.
Hey, Vincent, I was just being vulnerable about
date nights as
right
well.
there. You can't take that for. Hey.
Just like with sisters' night.
I love it.
That's date night. You know, not all date night has to be a romantic date night.
Right, or at night.
It can be a brotherly date night and a sisterly date night. Jimmie, you quiet back there. I see you keep trying to get in, and these brothers won't let you in.
I'm bad, Jimmie.
I apologize, Jim.
No, I'm good. You know, I agree with you guys are saying. You know, and sometimes it's hard for us to even like say we need a hangout night because, you know, depending on how we were raised, because, you know, sometimes us men, we wasn't raised to like share our emotions or talk and all of that. So it's hard, to like, at times, for some of us, it's hard to express all of that.
Yes.
True.
And the viewers are saying, motivation is key. Motivate each other and not have crabs in a barrel mentality. And then they're saying, real men talk. And then they're saying that's a brother. They was agreeing with what Darnell was saying, that's a brother. Then they're saying when you excel in your life, you will find out who is there for you and who's not. Absolutely. And they say, yes, a brother will support you at all times. And this is so true. When you do excel in your life, you will actually find out. That is the time that you will find out who really has your back, and unfortunately, who really doesn't have your back. But you guys made some really key points. You were saying about bringing down the wall of vulnerability. Then you was talking about life issues and then depressions and sharing your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And sharing your emotions. And I do remember when my cousin friend passed away, and he had posted it on Facebook. And it's important to share your feelings with each other, because like you said, you never know what the next one is actually going through, and that actually requires a conversation and actually asking those hard questions as to what's really going on, and not what's going on with the facial or with the verbal, but actually like, no, are you really okay?
Right.
And that is something that we have started. Our pastor has started with urgent care during this COVID-19, and we was having urgent care different panels where we was bringing in mental illness people, advocates, to actually talk and speak to the people and say, are you okay? Because in the COVID-19, a lot of people was not okay. A lot of people went a lot of things, emotionally, financially, mentally, physically. So to say that, we sat through all of that and everyone walked out okay, I don't believe that to be true. I believe that on some level, and it doesn't have to be on the same level, but on some level, every human being that's on this earth, from adult down to the children, was affected by it.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So it's about asking those questions, that are you okay? And so how do you think you guys can ask the questions to the next brother, so that the next brother can feel comfortable about opening up and sharing those emotions, sharing those feelings? Because it goes back to what Vincent was saying about that wall of vulnerability.
You gotta be sincere when you come to your brother. They gotta know that you're being sincere.
Yeah, I agree.
Because as you just said, in the society that we're living in right now, not everybody is okay. So as they seeing that you are sincere, coming to them like, yo, bro, what's up? How you doing? And they feel that, you gotta show that.
Yeah, and it comes to that point of where when you're having that friendship and you're making that effort and you're having that date night and you're sitting down and you're talking.
A guy
you're
night.
Sitting down, that guy's night out, right? And you're sitting down talking, and you open up, and you don't open up, weirdly. You don't just come out of nowhere after you're like down in some buffalo wings and it's like, yeah, I'm depressed. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. But it's one of those things where you literally prepare that conversation and saying like, I'm fam, I'm just, as of lately, I just haven't been okay. And it's, well, what's going on? And then you basically, I think, the funny thing about the past 5 years, there's been a lot of like hot topic words. Toxic was the word of 2020. And it's somewhere along the Z guy stuff, what's been happening. I think the one thing that has happened is finding out where your friends are, where loyalty lies. And you know, if you go on Facebook every new year, it's time for me to do the cutoff of people who don't support me and people who support me. You know, and what's fun, we hate that stuff, right? But that's a thing, because when we think about it, you're trying to gauge out and see. You're getting older and you're realizing life is hitting you very hard.
Right. And who don't?
I need to know where I can go to, where I can vent to, who's going to support me. I can't talk to my mom. I can't talk to my dad. My sisters, my brothers and sisters don't know. There's some people who have, their friendships are more solidified than
family relationships.
Than their family relationships.
Yeah.
And you need to know where you can go. You need to know who you can talk to, how you bring it up. You know, it's easier said than done to just say it, but it's one of those things where it's just, you have to let them know from ahead, like, yo, I haven't been okay. One of my dudes, and I joined a Facebook group, you know, diehard Jet fan, and you know, they had a Facebook group, right? And so one of the guys that started the group, you know, as Black people, we like to make fun of other Black people about, you know, a lack of wealth and stuff like that. So I seen he had a phone and I didn't know what the carrier was, so I started cracking him. You know, I didn't know what the carrier was. I was like, who is this? It ain't Mr. PCS. What is this? You know?
You tried it.
You know? But you know what? But you want to know what it is? You want to know what's so funny about that? When I travel down to Maryland, that's going to be one of the first people that I see. Because our friendship from that point forward, phenomenal. When we talk, we talk. I don't have to talk to him every day. If he's not okay, he's going to say he's not okay. If I reach out to him and be like, yo, Davin, what's up? Is everything all right? He'll call me. We'll talk. We'll have a 2-hour conversation. I'll give him some words of encouragement. If I'm down, we'll have a 2-hour conversation. He's going to put me on the game. And it's like, I've built a better bond with him than business relationships that I've had for 5 years. How? All of that BS doesn't matter.
That's right.
Yo, are you good? I'm not good. Then how can we get good? I'm not a therapist. I would suggest that you go see one. But for right now, how can we get through this? What and if you need to see a therapist, what are the steps that we need to take together?
That's
that I can hold you accountable to, for you to go and get the help that you need. You know, and the help is not in a liquor bottle. The help is not in whatever, you know, substance that you need to get. That's not the help. The help is internally realizing something's wrong. I need to fix this, and being vulnerable enough to say, I don't know how to fix it, and seeking out the outlets to make that self whole again. And I just think that's the way you open the floor up. Jimmie said it best. Since being sincere and being open and just saying like, yo, I'm not okay.
And you said a very
one game.
Can I say
this? Very good word.
Can I say real quick? Prime example. I work in a community area which, you know, deal with all types of people, illness, mental health, all of that. And I had a client going through some issues for the past couple of weeks. And each time I would approach the client, you know, he didn't, you know, open up. But then when I changed my approach, like I was really sincere and concerned about that particular client because of how he was acting and not talking and staying away from people, you know, when I changed my approach, he opened up. So that's why I say it's very important, you know, how we approach, and everything. I agree with everything that Vincent is saying.
And you said a word that was so awesome: accountability.
Yes.
Yep.
Accountability. Being accountable for your brother. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the accountability.
Well, to me, that's the first aspect of brotherhood.
Right.
What brotherhood means to me, that was one of the questions. What brotherhood means to me is accountability. Straight off the bat, accountability. Someone I could be held accountable to, and someone I may have to hold accountable. And if I'm going left, they're gonna be like, bro, You're going a little left. Come back over to the right side, because we need that in our lives. Because sometimes, due to our emotions or whatever it is, something may trigger something in us, and we just flip out. And you need that brother that will be like, yo, bro, I understand. I got you. But that is not the correct way to do it.
Right.
And you don't want people that will be yes people in your life.
Correct. You don't need that.
Yes men in your life. You want somebody that's going to be able to hold you accountable, tell you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
And you may not like it, but what am I going to do? That's my brother, and I know he's not going to steer me wrong. So there must be some substance to what he's saying, or the love that he has for me. If that's another thing. That's why you have to know it's a brother that's saying it to you, not a hater or someone that's jealous of you saying it to you.
That part right
there. And you have to know, because you do have people that will be fake or portray to be a brother, and well, I'm about to make this move, and they can make me, sign this well, no, I don't sign that contract because, and they have their own reason for you not signing, because they may be jealous of you signing this multi-million-dollar contract. But if you have a brother that's really for you, he may say to you like, hey, I would not sign that contract, and tell you why, because maybe that's what he deals in contracts. And like a lot of these guys here are music guys. So, and like one of my brothers in the music, so I know a little bit about contracts, and you got to read the fine print, and I'm like, hey, bro, listen, you see this? Don't sign this contract, because when you sign this, the master is no longer yours, and you will not get royalties off of this thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm not telling you not to sign it because I'm jealous. I'm telling you for your own good, because this is going to hurt you in the end and not bless you. So accountability is definitely something that you need in brotherhood.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And loyalty.
Yes,
loyalty.
and I was about to say, you said some key words. You said accountability, loyalty, honesty. Those are all important in brotherhood.
Yes.
Yes. And to be careful of the haters and jealousy, and to make sure that when your brother is actually giving you advice, they're giving you advice from a place of protection.
Yes.
And not a place of jealousy and competition.
Yes.
Correct.
So it's just being able to know who your brother is, and know that the person is truly your brother and truly have your back.
And that comes from time spent together.
And I was about to say that.
Yes.
That comes from time spent.
And that comes from the bonding.
The bond.
Yes.
How do you bond?
Genuine time.
Time in the middle of the bond.
Yes. Yes.
You got to spend time with each other to know how they, what they don't like from what they do like. You might not know everything about them, like whatever colors. That's another level of brotherhood. But you got to spend time with someone in order to form a bond.
Correct.
Form through arguments with your brother.
Correct.
Correct.
And it's healthy.
So
it's healthy.
Healthy ones.
It's healthy. It's healthy to have disagreements. When you know what it is, it's a lot of people think respect has a fine line, and that's I think that's facetious. That's a load of crap. Respect doesn't have a fine line. Respect is a very thick line.
Yes.
And even if you're having a disagreement, there's a line of respect where I'm not gonna cross that. Regardless of whatever we're going through, regardless of whatever the conversation is, I'm not going to cross that. I can have a very authentic conversation with you about yourself and still not disrespect you.
Right.
Letting you know I'm coming to you. I'm letting you know. Sometimes you got to tell your bro, like, bro, you wilding out right now, bro. You wilding. Like, this is a lot. I suggest you tone it down. That's not disrespect. I think respect, we have to put respect in that too, on how you keep that accountability there. Not only respect for the other person, respect for yourself. You gotta have respect for yourself. You can't go out here and you gotta have respect for yourself, man. You know, it's so funny when you think people aren't watching, they're watching.
Yes.
They're
Absolutely.
watching. they all people. That's one thing my mom always told me and made me
Yep.
paranoid. It's one thing, but it's one thing my mother always told me. You think somebody's. It made me so paranoid. But she would always say,
Somebody's watching.
People watch the most when you think they're not watching.
Absolutely.
They watch them when you think they're not paying attention. Everybody paying attention, and what you do when the light's not on you is more about your character than what you do when the light is on you.
Yeah.
So try to be somebody that when the light isn't on you, be somebody that you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of this person. I'm proud of what I'm doing. You know, if you were 1% better than the day before, then you're 1% better than the day before. That's an increase. That's an increase. You know, so that respect and that accountability part, that plays a huge factor into the quality of what your friendships are about.
And the viewers are saying, when you're around someone long enough, whatever is in them, whether it's good or bad, it will come out.
Oh yeah, definite. That's a definite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a definite. You ain't gonna be able to hide everything. Yeah, at some point you're gonna find out if this person is real or this person is fake, or you're gonna find out everything. What is done in the dark will come to the light.
Will always come out to the light.
And I think
always.
I think a certain time in a relationship, you'll start feeling that also as well. You know, that person is not genuine and that they fake.
Yeah.
It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up in your spirit.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. You're totally correct. You're totally correct. You're totally correct. How can you guys as men change the trend on brotherhood?
Ooh. I'll take that one.
Well, I mean, I think
what are your thoughts as men? What are your thoughts of how you can change the trend on brotherhood? Because you guys said some awesome points. You said about brotherhood to you guys is about support. It's about coming together. It's about friendship. It's about being there for each other. It's about bonding. It's about the consistency. It's about bringing down that vulnerability wall. It's about sharing your emotions. It's about, guys' night out, hanging out. It's about accountability. It's about loyalty, honesty, respect. It's not about being haters or the competition or the jealousy. So how do you guys think, what do you guys think can actually change the trend on brotherhood to bring all the things that you guys said that you felt brotherhood was about to make it actually happen?
You got to be the first partaker of it. The first one.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Right, I agree with that. And I believe we also have to take an active role or active interest in the desires, the dreams, the goals of the men that are in your group.
That's right.
You can't just stand on the sideline and just let them do whatever. You have to participate in it. As Jimmie said, you have to be the first partaker. So I believe you have to take an active interest in what they're doing. Like Linus is into music. Me, brother, I would have to get into music somewhat. Not all into it like that, but I would have to get into it to know something about it so that we can converse about it and maybe introduce him, like we were talking earlier about introducing him to my brother because he's into music. And I believe that's how it starts. That's one way of starting it, by sharing the spotlight with somebody else. Like, you're sharing the spotlight with us right now on this podcast, and then just encouraging others. And then you may have people in your group that may not be as vocal, or they may be like an introvert type of individual, and you never know what they can do. So if you take an active role in just kind of talking to them and trying to push them out a little slowly by slowly into the spotlight, and even allowing them to take leadership roles, even in my my men's group, I do that. Like I try to let them take leadership roles and get their ideas, even the ones that are real timid and introvert, like to kind of put to bring what's in them out.
Yes.
Because you never know what you have in your circle. They can have vast wealth of knowledge of things that may be beneficial to you. And I think that it also brings it brings forth character, and it strengthens you. It strengthens that individual to feel a little bit more comfortable in their own skin, that you trust them, you entrusted them to do something, and they're okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And sometimes they're surprised by what's really inside of them that they may not see. Because you do have some friends that don't know what's really inside of them until it's really pushed out of them. And I believe that, and I believe that not only builds strength among your peers, which in turn now foster strength in our own communities, which is a big thing. Because I know, like Ecclesiastes 4:12 says, listen, though one may be powerful, one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves, and a 3-chord string is harder to break than a 1-chord. So if you got a 1 string, you could pop that real easy. But if you got a string that's tied over 3 times, it's a little bit more difficult to pop.
It's true.
So I definitely believe that's how we can actually stop the trend that we have seen perpetrated so much now in society, and kind of bring it back to the old school way of doing things, where brothers were there for brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And it meant something.
That's right.
Morality, man. I think if you have certain core principles, and you take the time to work on yourself, and you take the time to develop ideologies that align with not only being confident within your own skin, but just learning that leadership is a necessary requirement of anybody in life. And sometimes you're gonna have to be the person to kind of step out and put your foot out there. It's hard. It's hard being the leader. It's hard being the guy everybody looks at and expect to have that correct answer and know what the thing is. But if we didn't have people that are leaders, African Americans wouldn't have the advantages that they have today in this country.
True.
Right? We wouldn't have the lifestyle that we live if there wasn't people that stepped out and just decided to say, I'm going to be different from the crowd. You have to realize that if you want the conversation to change, the conversation changes with you. And if you become when I used to go to church many moons ago.
Don't laugh.
Right?
But it's still in you.
It's still in me. It never left. But
That's right.
I remember when I used to go to church, and they used to talk about, there was a joke that they had about sidewalk preachers. And I found it so funny that the people in the church used to look down on the sidewalk preacher. And the funny thing about the sidewalk preacher is that he or she is literally where people are.
Mm-hmm.
You are literally preaching to the choir. The people that come to the church know why they're coming to church. They're coming to church to get refilled with the word, right? Boom. So, you might be preaching to somebody to get their life changed, but they already set in the building looking to get something to change their life. So they're already geared. That sidewalk preacher has more confidence than most of the preachers that I know that are televised or not, because they're literally out there in the corner. They don't care who's looking at them. They don't care what people are saying about them. They don't care about how they're going to be perceived. They're doing the work of God. Now, how they go about it, how their flow is, that's entirely up to them. But they literally are out there preaching on the street, and they're becoming the beacon of leadership in their own right. And if we want to change the trajectory, I can't say the word. If you want to change how we look at brotherhood, you got to be the beacon for your own self. And you have to be the beacon of light amongst your friends. And it's going to be lonely at first, right? Because everybody's going to look at you like you're weird, and everybody's going to look at you and think you're strange. The same way when you came on that basketball court and everybody's looking at you like, this is different. You know, did you get something? It's like, no, bro, I just changed my life. And if you see that I'm glowing, it's because in here, connected with here, and you're just seeing the manifestation. You know, granted, you didn't see the hard work. You didn't see the nights where I was, you know, up late thinking about life. You didn't see where I'm looking at the people around me and I decided I just don't want to be a part of this. You didn't see that. You don't know what's going on. You just know something changed. You see the glow, but that glow came from internal conversations becoming external projections.
That's right.
That's what you saw.
That's right.
And those sidewalk preachers, that's called outreach ministry.
Yeah.
That's called outreach ministry. And the viewers are saying ministry starts outside of the church door.
Church door. Yeah.
That's where it starts at. It doesn't start in the church building, but it starts outside of the church doors. And they're also saying, they say, this is so good. Thank you all for sharing your hearts and your perspectives. Awesome panelists. And then they're also saying, you will be back in church. Word is in you. Okay.
Hey, Vincent.
It's part of your DNA. Okay.
Right, Minister Vincent.
It's part of your DNA. Right. So, and then they also saying, so true, Vincent. That's what we are supposed to do. Take what we learn and share it. Yes, on the street. Great point. Absolutely. So those sidewalk preachers, that's outreach ministry.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. You look at them, you know, I used to, you know, pass Jamaica Avenue and stuff like that. And
right there on the corner.
Right there on the corner, preaching, you know, sweating, preaching, you know, whether it rains, sleet, hail, snow, like they were out there.
6'5" in Jamaica.
But you know what though? That's a side of vulnerability, confidence, and just internal happiness that most people unfortunately won't achieve because they won't go through the things that they need to do to achieve it. You know, there's nothing wrong with being the one to stand out. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm different. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with being the leader. There's nothing wrong with tripping and landing on your face and learning from a failure or learning from a mistake or being embarrassed. It is true. That is a true walk of life. You know, we all trying to find a purpose in life, but the one thing that I do know is that when you go through struggle and you go through pain, instead of avoiding it, on the other side is true bliss. And if we're going to change the dynamics of how we look at brotherhood or how we look at friendships in totality, it starts here. And it starts with what we believe about ourselves, what we took from other people to believe about ourselves, and taking that information and throwing that away. Because a lot of people will project things on you that you don't even believe about yourself. And it, you know, even from when a kid, you know, you'll grow up as a child and you'll be thinking about something about yourself, and half of those things are never true. And beyond half, like 70 of that stuff is not true. If you take the time to look at yourself and realize, yo, I want to be better, and I don't care what other people will think about me. That's the point of where you become that beacon and people can see that in you. You know, that's where they see that leadership. That's where they see that the conversation changed, because now somebody on the outside can look and say, that's my boy. That's the definition of what a brother is to me. And if you see those characteristics in somebody, that's what you should want. You know what I mean? Once you have made an impression on someone and they put you in high regards, respect that. Respect that. Respect the fact that people believe in you. Respect the fact that people look to you for your counsel. Respect the fact that people trust in you. They trust the words that you say. They believe this person won't lie to me. It's friendships and the value of a relationship is not, there's no respect for it today. You don't see it out there. It's all about, oh, what can I get? What can I get? It's not about what you can get. It's what you can offer.
So true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the people are saying, yes, this is so true. And then they're saying, yes, evangelism. And then they're saying, yes, determination and perseverance. So, yes. Yes. Anyone else want to take a stab at that question? Jimmie, Darnell, y'all want to take a stab at that question?
Yeah, I mean, God, Jesus Christ, Vincent, definitely took the cake there and ate. But Tonee,
and they're saying, yes, we got to become helpers one to another.
yeah, definitely jumped on a lot of points. I say being more open first to change and the opportunities and the opinions. We need to reach out to each other more and on a positive level, and start holding each other accountable. We did talk about that.
Yes.
We need to show more compassion, which our masculinity might stop us from doing that, but we need to get beyond that and show more compassion to our brothers.
But let me ask you a question. Why do you feel that your masculinity would stop that?
Because it's almost a frowned upon.
Compassion?
That's a good question.
That's
a good question.
Huh?
Compassion is love.
Compassion is love.
Compassion, yes. Why would you look at compassion like that?
It's not him looking at it like he said. Society tends to look at it.
Society. Okay, but why do you
think weakness?
Why do you think society looks at it as weakness?
Especially in our society,
especially men.
Really?
Showing compassion, yes. Showing compassion, yes.
Is weakness?
Yeah. It's a sign of weakness.
It's a sign of weakness. So we've been taught, but it's not.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We've been taught that.
Okay.
Get past that.
Okay.
Yes, we have to get past that.
Okay.
And I say about a lot of the stuff that we go through, we've been taught the wrong things.
Yes.
Yes.
We have been taught the wrong things. And then at some point, when you reach a certain maturity, I say in your life, you should know the difference between, okay, now I've been taught this way, but now I know what's right and what I feel is not right. Some people, some brothers, they cannot understand that and they won't go past that.
Nope.
They will not. It's hard for them to get past it. Nah, man, I'm not doing none of that soft stuff. Nah, man, can't do it. Even though they need it and they want to, they really do. But they just will not get past that.
And they be crying for it, man.
Yeah.
They be crying for it.
Yeah.
Big time.
They be I mean, you can see it like when somebody's acting completely out of character or you try to approach them and all of that animosity and anger, it's like, yeah, you crying for this, bro. Just let it go.
You know what? Somebody said it. I think it might have been Tonee. You said it. You got to be very, very consistent.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said that. Mm-hmm.
You got to be very, very consistent with your brother to show him. And you got to be vulnerable first. Sometimes you got to be the first, like you said, the leader. You got to show that compassion first. So that's a big thing with, I believe, changing the trend in brotherhood, showing that compassion first, being that first person to do all of these things, holding other brothers accountable. So they look at you and say, you know what? You held me accountable. This nigga right here, I trust him. I believe in him. He shows compassion. He don't care how I might feel about how he feel. And he opens up to me in a different way that nobody has ever opened up to me. And somebody taught me that I should not be this vulnerable.
But there's a reason why we were taught that. That goes on a deeper level.
Oh, Lord.
And what's that reason? Bring it to the table. Let's talk about it.
We were taught that because if we would show compassion to each other, we will not be crabs in a barrel mentality thinking people. We will help push and elevate each other. And if we could, and it will unite us. It will unite us.
Right.
And that is
That's
the
what we
people
want.
are scared of. They are scared that we will be united. That if I see my brother out there getting doing the wrong thing, compassion doesn't mean feeling like you weeping, crying, and stuff like that. Right. It could be like, go up to that brother. That brother's doing the wrong thing, standing there with all that on him. The compassion in my heart is just to say, bro, you're going down the wrong path.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't necessarily have to do with, the tears or the feeling sad or sentimental type of thing. It's just like, bro, you my brother.
You wildin', bro. You out of pocket.
I don't even have to know you to say my brother.
You out of pocket.
You out.
It could be that simple as just like, hey man, we about to go smoke and drink, man. What you trying to do? And you say, nah, man, I ain't trying to do that today. Good. I ain't doing that. Good. You good? What you mean you good? We about to get lifted. Nah, I think I'm good, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get this vegan sandwich. And I mean, you happy to you could come too. That's just a small thing, but it's a big thing to a man.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier, it has been a bad stigma for us as men, especially men of color, to compassion, to show compassion to each other, because that is one of the things that I'm sorry, great grandma, they will not want us, because that will help unite us.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have unity amongst us, we can accomplish so much more.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God.
One of the things that they use to enslave us mentally and physically.
That's right.
You better not show compassion, because that's a sign of weakness.
Yep.
You gonna be fooled out here. That's I think the African American part, or I should say people that grew up in areas that lack economic resources, areas that lack outreach centers, areas that lack some type of structure, hierarchy of social order. In those areas, it's dog eat dog. You know what I mean? I think all of us, including Monique, we understand. When you come from and I hate to say the hood, but the hood is so cliche. But when you come from certain areas,
low poverty,
it's legit dog eat dog. When I take my nephews to the ball court, my thing is, I try to teach you. I try to teach you that there is a level of compassion that you need to have, but then at the other and it's so messed up because they're young and they're really impressionable. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you also don't want to let them know. You also don't want to have them be perceived as food for somebody else, for somebody to come take advantage of them. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's one thing, like my oldest nephew, he gets that. The second oldest doesn't get it. I mean, he gets it, but he still has that kid look. And, you don't want to. And there's something about kids. You don't want to take that away. But as an African American male in this country, that like that balloon sooner or later is going to get popped.
That's
you have to let them know. You have to. There's a fine line of when you show compassion. Compassion should always be in your heart. But you always got to make sure that there are some people out here that will just simply think you are food, and they will try to take advantage of you, and you need to be aware of that. And it's poisonous. It is poison that we believe these things about each other. It's poison that because you have resources and I don't, that I feel that the only way to get those resources that you have is to use violence. Instead of using my mind, taking accountability, and taking hold of these theoretical bootstraps that some people say that we have, which is reality. That's a whole other conversation for another day. It's not a political channel. It's a Brotherhood one.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't, cause you know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Tonee was like, yo, I don't want to go there. And I see him like, yo, it's like, bro, we are talking from the third eye. Cause I'm like, I know where you want to go, but we can't go there. We got to stay here.
Yes, we gotta stay on the brotherhood.
Stay on the brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
This could get extremely deep very fast. But it's you have to let them know that, you know, there is a sense of compassion. There is a sense of, you know, going back to the basketball analogy, you know, if you see somebody that scored and they made a good shot, whether they're a teammate or not, give them a dab. Compassion.
Right.
Compassion. Yo, good play. Somebody beat you on defense, and when you're on the court, you know what I mean? There's a confidence of letting them know, yo, all right, good play, boom, and let's get back to let's get back to doing what we got to do. But then there's a point of where it's like, okay, I know where I'm at. I know the surroundings of where I'm at. I'm okay with being a leader, but there's a part of where, you know, I cannot be food to somebody. I cannot look so weak, and that's the external factor that holds us back from really progressing.
Yeah.
You know, the crab in a bucket mentality is extremely poison. And if, you know, we're not the only community that's affected by it. I'm pretty sure whites, I'm pretty sure Asians, I'm pretty sure Middle Easterns, I'm pretty sure so many different groups, so many subcultures go through this, you know, crab in a bucket mentality. We're just the first ones to put it out on Front Street.
Right.
That's good.
I
believe like you said,
was,
jealousy and envy too.
Yeah.
You know, we put it out on Front Street. We sign up for contracts on these network stations, and then we champion TV shows that preach about women backstabbing each other, being nice, nasty. Right. You know, we want the drama. We want things to be accentuated. Right. We want to see, you know, people go above and beyond to just be dissed, and we love it and we crave it, but it's poison, and that's not how relationships work. That's not how you foster happiness. This stuff don't work. If you want to change a trajectory, there's gotta be a collection of people that just say like, yo, this is crazy. I'm not doing this. I'm going here. And when you have enough of people that can raise their consciousness to say, I'm going left, and everybody goes left, everybody on the right is going to feel lonely, and they're going to want to move left too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, is it a slow and steady process? Yes. It's hard. Is there external factors that are going to stop you? Boy, are they out there. But they're out there. But, you know, it's even when I'm talking to my nephews, I got to let them know, you know, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to say, like, it's okay to say things, man. It's okay to be yourself. But, you know, you just got to understand, this world out there this world can have some of the most beautiful things in it. And it can have some of the most ugliest things on the face of this earth. Things that you can never imagine can be possibly done. And, you know, when it hits closer to home, it hurts even worse.
That's right.
But if you're aware of the yin and yang, you have balance.
Right.
And if you have balance, then you know how to move and how to protect that balance from tilting over left and right.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. And the viewers are saying, we gotta become helpers one to another. And then they say, yes, sometimes men get busy being a provider or father. It takes 5 minutes to make a phone call. And then they're saying, so men have to have a mindset of change and break that curse, which men were taught. And then they're saying, exactly, this is teaching of life. No, exactly, that is teaching of life. And then they're saying, this is good stuff, excellent conversation. And then they're saying, yes, true men can cry. It is okay to display your compassionate side. Yes, true brotherhood provokes power, cause iron sharpens iron. Yes, we said that earlier, iron sharpens irons. And then they say, yes, reinforce this mindset when children are young. Absolutely. So the viewers is agreeing with you. Yes, Jimmie.
I want to address the question concerning someone wrote in reference to men is not supposed to cry or something like that?
No, they said yes. No. They didn't say not supposed to. They said yes. True men can cry.
Oh, okay.
So they said no. True men can cry.
I was brought up in a household where that wasn't shown. You know, so far as me as a male, I have a hard time showing my emotions. But when it comes to being a support to my brother or sisters, I'm there. I do that. But far as me showing emotions and that crying stuff, I wasn't taught that. I was always taught men don't cry. You know, you got to suck it up. You got to be a man. You got to do this. You got to do that. You know, you can't.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, that's
Be
right.
a man. Be a man. That be a man comment. And it's worse when a woman tells you to be a man, like they've been a man, like shorty. Yeah. you know what I mean.
Okay,
it's
now
like,
hold on now. You said you guys are all saying you hate that comment, and you just made a statement saying that it's worse when a woman say it. Let's talk about it.
Because first of all, they're out of order. What do you know about being a man? What do you know? Because
and you're absolutely right. We as women have no idea, no clue what it is to be a man. Just like men have no clue what it is to be a woman. You are absolutely right, Tonee.
Exactly. So what are you telling me about being a man if you ain't never been a man? So what do you know? You're just going by what you were taught to how a man should act, and you probably was taught wrong.
Absolutely.
So suck it up. I sound personal. I'm talking about me, but we don't have no problems.
But no, Vincent made the statement, and he said it's worse even when it comes from a woman. So yes,
because it's like, what are you talking about? You know, like, really?
Be a man. Like, they come out and they say, you know, be a man, and it's like, okay, well,
what do I mean?
What do you mean by that?
Right.
Should I slap you? Or beat you down? Is that being a man?
That's not a man.
Is that what you want?
Slapping a woman.
To her?
Hold
to
on.
her?
Slapping a
maybe.
woman and beating her down is not a man.
It's not. But to her.
Talked about this.
But to her.
But Monique, hold on. Here's the thing about it. This is where it circles around back to what do we call masculinity?
Yeah.
Now, when I guarantee you can sit 100 men in a room and you ask them, what is the definition of masculinity? All 100 will have an extremely different answer, but all 100 will say certain things that coincide with it. It is usually confidence, self-assurance, self-reliance. Vulnerability, ironically, will not be one of them.
This was not.
Okay, if we're going to update what the definition of masculinity is, we should put vulnerability in there, but I digress. You're going to see certain things that will perverse, that's a good word, perverse the idea of what power is. Because people identify masculinity with power.
That's right.
You know, if you guys are paying attention to how social structures are being brought about, it's all about power, acquiring wealth or acquiring possessions, or showing that I have status, showing that I am a part of a social class. Power has nothing to do with masculinity, at least externally. True power is, Jordan Peterson, I swear to God, said the greatest thing. He said, a man is not a monster because it's not monster, use the word beast. A man is not a beast because he does beastly things. It's because he's aware that part is inside of him and he suppresses it to get to a greater end. That, in a nutshell, is masculinity. I mean, if I can give it a definition, that is that. All men have this carnal thing inside of them, and it comes out when it comes out at the wrong time, it's quoted toxic masculinity.
Right.
When it comes out, when you're having an argument with a woman and then you scream out of nowhere and it's like, oh, that's super aggressive. that's just because he's hiding that beast inside. And when he doesn't allow that part of his masculinity to vent out in healthy forms, then it becomes toxic.
Right.
So when people see and they get definitions of what masculinity is because of hearsay, a woman will come along and say, act like a man. Has no concept.
Yeah.
Nothing. No
what
depth
it means, right?
To what identifies as manhood. Hell, we don't even know
right. That's
what
right.
identifies as manhood. So how can a woman who has never been in a male's body, who has never had to understand how can I protect myself with my woman here and these guys are walking this way? You know, when I'm walking with my girlfriend, I'll tell her, yo, walk on this side of the street. And then she gives me the, well, what?
Why?
It's here. I'm here. Listen to what I'm telling you because I've been here before. Just do this. Well, why? I don't have to do this and this. Just trust me. Do this. That's my masculinity. This is me understanding everything that's going on in this world. And I have to somehow keep it not so much trapped in, but let it out at the points in time of where it needs to come out. So when somebody comes to you and tells you, like, be a man, that is the most backhanded comment a man can ever receive. Somebody tells you to man up. You have no idea what manning up is. You have no idea what taking accountability is, taking responsibility for yourself, saying sorry when it's not your fault.
Right.
You have no idea. You have no idea of just saying, my bad, I'll move on. I'm picking this up, I'm moving on, I'm gonna go forward with it. No concept of that. So, you know, it hurts when people say things like that. It hurts when they project their ideology of masculinity on you when you're trying to find it for yourself.
And the viewers are saying, my father was a manly man. He taught all the men that real men do cry. And then, then they're saying, yes, it's worse. And they agreeing when they said, yes, it's worse that when someone make the statement, be a man. Then they also saying, holding in emotions causes ailment. And then they're saying to what you were saying, Vincent, right? And then they were saying power or sexuality. And then they were saying, good talk, Vincent. And then they said the mind, and then they made the statement, the mind of a man. Yes. And then they said, awesome. I want to trust you. And then they're saying, yes, Vincent, great concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they was agreeing with what you were saying. Absolutely. Yes, they was agreeing with what you were saying about that.
Yeah, no, it just comes off as it just comes off as completely disheartening when people tell you man up. And I think we should throw that away. You know, if
canceled.
if God decided to have children in my life and I was blessed to have, you know, hopefully a healthy kid, one. But if I was blessed to have a boy,
one,
you know, if I was blessed to have a boy,
only one, only one nephew.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, like I would want to raise my son in a way where I'm not going to project what my ideals of what masculinity is. But what I will do is I will work hard at being the best person I can be to be for you. If you see that in me, please take what is good. And if you see something that's bad, throw it away. Because my job as a parent is to just be the best role model I could possibly be. Because one day, you're by yourself, bro. I'm not paying your bills. I'm not taking care of you. You got a family. You're going to have somebody that you're going to be looking up to. You have, and you got to be the one to provide for them. So the only thing I can do is be the best version of me to be a better version for you.
I like that.
You know?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Right. On point. And the viewers is saying, yes, Vincent, this is yes, Vincent. Then they say great concept. And then they're saying, yes, I love this. And then they're saying great segment, Monique. Yes. You guys brought in some awesome ideas. I'm loving it. You know, you guys talked about, you know, the support in brotherhood and coming together, the fellowship, and you know, just being there for each other and being and supporting each other when you win, and being there for each other when you're not winning, and you know,
Right.
and no matter which way your brother may go, you know, whether you agree with your brother or not, but you're being there and you're still supporting your brother, regardless to whether or not you agree or disagree.
Right.
But you're still there. And you talked about being having friendship and a bond, a strong
Right.
between, you know, brotherhood, and bringing down the wall of vulnerability. And we talked about, you know, sharing the emotions and of life and the issues that, you know, you men are faced with life and depression.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we talked about that, and just asking those questions: Are you okay? Are you really okay? And making sure that you are accountable to each other, and that you're loyal and you're honest with each other, and you have respect. And we also talked about that time, you know, having that man's night out, you know, where you can just let your hair down and you could just, you know, well, not to let your hair down. That's us women. I'm sorry. I'm a woman, y'all. I'm a woman.
Boy, I love it. Look, hey, look, I'm pretty with my locks. I let my
Cut
hair
mine,
down,
so
boy.
I'm good. I cut mine.
But I'm sorry, y'all. Not let your hair down. But see, that goes to what Vincent said. And what y'all said, a woman have no clue.
No clue. No clue.
Listen, is that a
But
tag at us?
That's what us women do. But you know,
you can't say let the hair down, even if they do have hair. You can't say that.
You can't let it down. I can't be bad and bougie.
Right.
But you men coming together and just sharing, not let your hair down, but just sharing your feelings and opening up to each other, and making yourself vulnerable to your brother, exposing your feelings to your brother, exposing what your emotions or what you're going through to your brother. And then Vincent even said something so powerful that he's the first person I've ever heard say it, when he was saying that the friendship is a much more bonding friendship, you know, brotherhood, than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because he made the statement that if you marry, you can get a divorce, therefore you can get another wife, another husband. You know, if a woman can get another husband, a man can get another wife. He also talked about, he was saying that if you're dating each other, okay, you break up, you'll find another one. What he said? He said another one will drop, something like that, to that nature.
Something's got to fall, baby. Something
else will fall. Something else will fall.
Something's got to fall. It's got to fall on my lap.
But he was saying, but that bond of friendship, when that's broken, something is missing, because that's the person that, you know, had your back. You had each other's back. You know, that's the person that, you know, you shared your intimate feelings and your emotions with, and that bond and that connection of brotherhood, you know, that support of knowing that your brother has your back. You have each other's back on your wins and your losses, because the reality of, we don't always win. You know, sometimes we do lose, but even when we lose, we just got to make sure that we get back up and try it again. And having that relationship, that brotherhood relationship, that when that happens, your brother is there. And even if your brother did not agree, because I believe one of y'all said it earlier, even if your brother doesn't agree with what you're doing, your brother's not knocking you because you lost, but he's there supporting you, letting you know, yo, man, get back up.
Exactly.
You can do this.
Yep.
You know, so you guys brought some awesome ideas. And then they say, you brothers are dropping some serious jewels. And then they were saying, yes, awesome words. And then they said, the sad thing is that some men are broken, or either they don't know how to be a man or a brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
That is true. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the men that's broken, who don't know how to be a brother. How can we break the trend with that? How can we build that bridge? How can that bond be brought together when somebody is broken, or they just don't know how to be a brother because they never had one there for them to show them how. They never had that mentor. They never had that male figure, because I believe it was Darnell who said it earlier about having that male figure role in your life. And he was saying usually that comes from your father, or our heavenly father. It comes from God, or, your biological father. So what happens when a person doesn't have that in their life?
Well,
and they don't know how to be that brother.
Well, usually when things like that happen, and if it's a young person, if you're talking about a young teenager or a child to teenage years, you can, if it's caught at the right time, and it depends on who catches it, because that's what I believe turns a lot of them into gangs, because they're seeking that
right.
that kind of bonding group, and
that's right.
It can turn negative or positive. It all depends on who catches it first.
Right.
Correct.
Whole of that individual first and begin to nurture that. But as an adult, a grown individual, grown man in his 20s and older, wow. It depends on the person that's first out there that gets him.
Yeah.
And teaches him how to, by just being there with him, showing him and teaching him this is what it is. And Susie, sorry, 1 second. Go with it. It teaches it's about a grown man. It's hard to. It's a little bit more difficult. It's not hard. It's more difficult to teach a grown man how to be a brother. The only way you could teach him that is by showing him.
Yes.
This is what it's about. By consistently showing him consistency. You know, they push you away at first, but if you continue to show there and not give up, you can kind of turn it around and sway it to show him this is what brothers do for each other. Because they might have been only an only child that was raised in a single family home.
Absolutely.
No male influence of any kind in the home or even in school, that he just fell to the wayside. And now he's grown up, always being by himself, an island by himself, just standing there doing whatever he does, and have no sense of loyalty, no sense of brotherhood. And it's just a little bit more difficult, but it can be done. It can be just by you just showing compassion, consistency.
Correct.
Individual's life, showing him what you have inside of you to be a brother. And the broken ones need therapy.
That's right.
Because you can't fix a broken person if you're not equipped to fix that individual. Because an average brother off the street, if they come into contact with a broken person and try to help show them how to be a brother,
it's not working.
End up losing their mind because
not working.
They don't have the skills.
That's right.
To teach someone that's mentally challenged in that area. So that person needs to seek help first on their own. The only thing you could advise them, you need to seek help. That's the first step right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slowly build with him.
Along
with the therapist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the viewers are saying, just as Vincent stated concerning his nephews, teaching men to be a man, and in reality, you not teaching to be a man, you are giving them the knowledge or wisdom to be that man and grow to be that man.
Yep.
Right. So he was saying, just like Vincent was saying that, with his nephews, you giving them that knowledge and wisdom how to grow to be that man.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I concur with what Tonee said. I think with broken men, the first step of actually, I think, identifying that there is a problem.
That's right.
And the viewer just said that. One viewer just text, you have some men that are broken, but they don't believe that they are.
They are.
They came through just when you made your statement.
They have to realize. I'm sorry, Jimmie. I don't know if I cut you off. Did I cut you off?
I was getting ready to say that, but go ahead.
Oh no. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jimmie. Please.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was saying, in order for you to recognize something is wrong, you have to recognize something is wrong.
Right.
And people are so aware of what self-actualization is. People are aware of it. The thing about self-actualization is the fact that it's a scary feeling, because it basically breaks down all of the knowledge that you've accumulated up to a certain age, and it's telling you all of this is wrong. So by telling you the knowledge that you gained is wrong, it's telling you that you're wrong. And so they simply just deject whatever it is that they're saying that it's wrong, because nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody wants to be right. And when you're in an argument, most of the time you're arguing just to prove your point. You're not even listening.
Right.
You're just like, yo, you're wrong. I want to prove to you why you're wrong, instead of saying, what's your point of view?
Mm-hmm.
It's so quickly. I just said literally the same thing, but I said it in a different way. If I'm arguing with you, I want to prove to you, yo, you're wrong. Instead of that, just say, what's your point of view? Why do you think that? And the conversation trajects into a different place, because now my ego's gone. Your ego is a little bit deflated. You're going to state why you think you're right. I'm going to state why I think I'm right. And then we can continue to grow. But we're talking about broken men. Broken men have an issue where their sense of identity is concrete. The same way that you go into church and you say, God can mend a broken heart. Sure, he can. But he has to realize that heart is broken first.
Right. That's right.
And it's, you know what I'm saying? We can pray, we can scream, we can talk in tongues. You can talk in tongues in Japanese. It doesn't matter. If your heart, it doesn't matter. If your heart is concrete and you cannot realize that you are subjected to change, right, it's never going to work. And for some people, you have to let them, you cannot, I always talk about, I can't lead you to the well to drink water. What I can do is I can bring you to that well. You can still not drink the water, but I can break up the ground to where the only thing that you can do is either sit there and die or drink the water. You have two choices. Mm-hmm. So you have to bring people that self-actualization, like, you think what you're doing is right? Question people. Do you think what you're doing is right? And of course, they're going to sit there and be defensive. Yeah, I think what I'm doing is right. But in the back of their mind, they're like, why did this person question me? Maybe what I am doing is wrong. And then that's where the gear turns. So when you're talking about broken people, toxic people do not realize they are toxic people until they get with someone who is more toxic. That's the only time that people realize, like, yo, wow, holy, maybe I am toxic. This person's toxic. It can't be me. But then maybe, why did I attract this person? Why did I bring this person in my life? Why do I have all of these? Why am I surrounded by all of these drugs and guns? What am I doing here? Like seriously, what am I doing here? When you have self-actualization, then you start asking yourself questions. And you're not going to get the answers, but you know that the answers are not in front of you. You have to go out and seek it. Broken people who realize they are broken are more than salvageable. You have to conceptually realize, I am broken. And to be broken is not a bad thing. To be broken is to be made whole into another image. You can always transform yourself. One of the books that I always preach is, I think it's called The 48 Laws of Power, right? I don't know if you guys read that book by Robert Greene. Phenomenal book. But one of the books that one of the points that they wanted to make is reinventing yourself. There's nothing wrong with taking pieces of you down and rebuilding those pieces up again.
All right.
Getting new information, getting new stimuli, getting new works, getting new ideologies, and piecing that thing together to make you a different person. that doesn't mean that you're a wrong person. That just means you're evolving. Most people do not want to evolve because evolving requires change. Evolving requires looking in the mirror. And I'm gonna be honest with you, unless you're looking in the mirror for vanity, you're not looking at it at all. And that's true.
That's true.
Unless you're looking in the mirror for vanity, you're not taking a long, hard look in the mirror and saying to yourself, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like the person that I'm projecting out. How can I change this? When that is in there, you can't take it. When that's in there, change can happen. We can do all sorts of stuff. God works in mysterious ways, all of those cliche catchphrases, or look at God working, or look at all of that. That's when that comes into play. But it really happens when a person realizes, I need saving. That's when the saving actually occurs. It doesn't occur because God is all in the presence. God literally can be right here. But if the person is toxic, it's not gonna work. It doesn't work.
I believe sometimes you got to meet your brother where he is. Sometimes you got to meet the brother where
right in the trap. Right in the trap. You got to meet him right in the trap, right when he's pushing that work. You got to be like, yo, this hustle that you got.
You can't and like you said, I think Tonee, you said not feeling or making them feel like you're above them or beyond them or making them feel little. You just meet them exactly where they are in their level, in their maturity. And I think you go from there.
Yeah.
So true.
Totally agree.
So true, so true. And the viewers are agreeing with you. Hold on, let me get back to the comments because I was typing. Some are saying men are afraid to take ownership of being wrong. That men put question to again their masculinity or who they are, so they have to feel the need to prove their identity. So yes, it was agreeing. And then they're saying again the mindset of a man. And then they're saying, yes, preach, Vincent. And then they say, you see, he said the word preach. Yeah, Vincent, you just said you preach.
Oh, look at
you know, and let me just say this, brother. It came out off your tongue so naturally. but yeah, we gonna keep it moving.
Right.
We gotta keep it moving. And then that's right, Vincent. And then overseer said, yes, that's my deacon. Yes. And then they said, yes, say that, Darnell. Meet them where they are and teach them that. Yeah, so that the viewers are definitely agreeing with what you guys are saying and what you guys have shared today. And this has been such an awesome topic. Is there any last things that you guys would like to say to our viewers? Because you guys hit some serious nuggets on tonight.
The one thing I would say is to change anything I do or I learn or I experience, I will teach another brother.
Absolutely. Awesome. I like that. I like that, Darnell. Anyone else?
No.
Go ahead, Jimmie.
Go ahead, Jimmie.
Please, Jimmie.
Please, Jimmie.
Know when you need help. You know, if you're broken, come to terms with it. Seek the professional help that you need.
Yes.
You know, trust God that, you know, He's going to bring you through, but seek the professional help that you're going to need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. Tonee, Vincent.
Each one, teach one.
Yeah.
Each one, reach one.
Yeah.
That's definitely what's just needed. I just believe that's what's really needed in the society. To reach back. Like when I mentor, like I forgot to say that I mentor a lot of young people for years now, and I teach them. And some of them grown with family of their own, and they'll call me and say, hey, I remember when you know, not even by your words or what you know, but you might not have interaction with me, but I was watching you. As
right.
Vincent said it, they watch you.
Mhm.
They watch you. They watch you.
Look, when you're not even paying attention, that they were watching you. I had one young man
They
say,
watch you.
it's not even what you did for me. It's like, I watched you, how you navigated as a man. And you went out, you worked for what you wanted to get. You did what you wanted to do with your family. And now I can turn around and do the same thing for my family. I didn't have to go out there and sell drugs and do this, do that, do this. And I don't have to go around whoring around to prove that I'm a man. And that blessed me tremendously, because I was like, really? You taught us a lot. And I said, well, that's all God. So I give praises to God for that. But each one teach one, and each one reaches one. And that's all that. Just with one.
Absolutely. And then the viewers. Go ahead, Vincent.
Oh no, I was just gonna end it off with just saying, I know that we've been stuck in this pandemic, and everybody has to be, you know, at home and stuff like that. I hope, you know, last year was an interesting year because I think it was the time that I just needed to like stop and think. And I think we get caught up in life so much, and we caught up with everybody else's expectations that you forget your own. I know that for me, you know, I took a couple of personality tests, and it helped me. It helped show a mirror to things that I need to work on about me. But I think to even getting to that point, the first step of any true change, or if you want to change the topic about manhood or a brotherhood, for that matter, it starts with yourself, and it starts with what you see. And if you know, this past year has gave me a lot of time to reflect. Most of it I didn't like, and that's okay, but I accepted all of it. Another book. I forgot the author's name. Beautiful woman, but it's Say Yes Even When You Don't Want to. That's the title of the book. And she teaches you to just simply accept things for what they are, and you move forward with it. And by accepting, that doesn't mean that you're sitting down and taking it, but accepting it means you've made your peace with it, and now you go forward. If we want to change, you move on. If you want to change how brotherhoods are, if you want to see more brotherhood happen, the self-work has to be there. Like, it legit got to be there. It's got to be there already inside of you in order for you to be that mentor or that brother or even a great friend to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And you have to realize that you cannot be Superman to everybody else. You know, you can't be Superman to everybody else. You're gonna have days where you're off. There's nights where Jordan just wasn't hitting, and there's nights where he does hit. So when you're compassionate with yourself, when you're kind to yourself, and you're allowed to break down all the defenses that you have of looking at you and finally realizing who you are as a person, at that point forward, everything builds it's
right. And who you are, right? You continue.
And you continue to go forward, and hopefully that we took this time to look in the mirror. You know, Dave Chappelle said it best, where a lot of people, when they were in this pandemic, a lot of people are stuck with their choices. And you look at these four walls that you're in whatever confined space that you are, and you're surrounded by every single choice that you made. And you got to look at it. And you got to accept that that's the choice that you made. And that is hard as hell. That is a hard task to sit there and say, I accept this. I made these choices. But in order for you to move forward in life and make better choices, you have to accept the ones that you made now. When you do that, all of that brotherhood, everything positive we just talked about, that comes in abundance. And it overflows, right? But self-evaluation is truly the key before anything else.
Absolutely. And you're right. There are sometimes Michael Jordan hit the ball and sometimes he didn't.
He don't.
Sometimes he missed, and sometimes, and I love Michael Jordan. You know,
Right.
sometimes he missed and sometimes he didn't. But absolutely. What happened? What Darnell said?
Nothing. Monique, you're being the most beautiful person you are. So don't let Darnell discourage you from what you're doing. You keep doing you. You keep shining, boo. Keep shining.
I'm not messing with Darnell.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
The viewers, we was talking about Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Darnell, you know I'm gonna get you. But yes, the viewers is saying they had said let your sonship qualify you in your leadership. And then they also said letting your life be the true example of being a man. And then they said the same thing that you said as well, Vincent. Self-evaluation is key.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Self-evaluation is key. So it just goes back to all the segments that we have been having on Monique's Real Talk, and the key component in each one of them has been self-evaluation. Looking in that mirror, evaluating self, working on self, redefining self, tearing down those negative perceptions, building up self, and then next thing you know, building up the next. Because
Correct.
iron sharpens iron.
Yes,
This
it does.
has been an awesome segment. This was an awesome topic. I appreciate each one of you and your ideas and your thoughts that you guys brought to the table. The viewers was loving it. They was chiming in. We actually didn't go over all our questions that I sent you guys. That happened last week too. But I was actually pulling them mostly from the viewers and their statements and posting it to you guys, the panelists. But you guys did an awesome job. I want to say thank you to each one of you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. To my baby
Love
brother,
you too.
to my cousin, my baby cousin, to my other two brothers. You guys, this was just awesome. And another thing that was awesome about it is, like Vincent has said earlier about, when you look at all the TV series that's going on, it's always that negative vibe of, and even the women, our sister panel brought it up last week when they were saying the housewives of Atlanta and housewives and how it's so negative, and it gives such a negative perception. But this was awesome. They don't have the husbands of Atlanta and all of that, and the husbands of LA, but you guys came. You guys came. You guys came, and what I loved about it was when we opened up, you guys shared with the viewers what you guys were doing and what you guys were producing, what you guys are working on, and and making an impact. And again, it shows that not everyone is not being productive, but there are some men out here that are being productive, because you hear so often about men, and it's a shame, because how people and how some women will just bash men and manhood. Oh, he's not a man, he's not this. But sisters, I hope you view this and know that there are some good men out here who are doing the right thing, who are trying to work on themselves, who's trying to build themselves up, who's trying to be that head of household, who's trying to set a standard, and who's producing and making a mark in this earth, making a mark in this kingdom, making a mark, in God's kingdom and in the secular world. There are some fruitful men. And I'm just glad for the four of you coming on and just showing our audience that you guys are fruitful, you guys are necessary, and you guys are producing. And and you guys are prospering and you're soaring. I am so excited with all the creativity that God has given each one of you. I'm so excited to, for more albums and CDs that hit those charts. I'm so excited for the podcast that God have you guys working on. I'm so excited for the series that God has you guys working on. I'm so excited with all this creativity that has been lying dormant in each one of you that is now coming to pass. It's coming out. Manifestation. I'm excited with the manifestation in each one of your lives. Just continue to prosper. Just continue to soar. I decree and declare blessings on top of blessings for each one of you and each creative idea that God has given you, and the impact that God is going to make in this earth realm through each one of you. So I'm excited about your purpose. I'm excited about all of your destinies, and I'm excited about your now and your next. Thank you to each one of you for just taking the time just to come and just to sit and have real talk about brotherhood, because it was necessary and it's needed. And this is the time that even in COVID-19, that everyone can actually sit in their house and, like Vincent said, reflect on self. Don't reflect on the next one, but first reflect on yourself. And like he said, what a lot of people don't like to do, take that hard look in the mirror. Amen. And actually see you. And then when you see you, acknowledge you, but then say, okay, now I'm going to take the next necessary steps to work on me so that I can become a better version of who God created me to be. So I'm just excited for each one of you, and I appreciate each one of you, and I love each one of you, and this was awesome. And the viewers are saying, yes, this is awesome. Awesome wisdom at its finest, true men of valor. So yes, you guys, the audience, loved what you guys brought to the table, and I appreciate you. Join me again, Monique, Real Talk, and our next topic that we will be bringing will be in February 6th, Monique's Real Talk, and it will be on the core, dealing with the core, getting down to the root of things. And our guest panelist will be Apostle Dr. Patricia Wiley, and she will be coming, and we're going to be talking about the core. So join me again on YouTube Live on Monique's Real Talk, where our next topic will be on the core. We work better when we work together. So let's come and talk about it. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all you viewers. I love you. Thank you for your statements. Thank you for your questions. I decree and declare continuous blessings in each one of your lives, and everyone just continue to prosper and soar. Everyone be blessed, and I love you guys. Blessings.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
All right, y'all.